Hello everyone and welcome to Fuzzmaster Games coverage of the Mists of Pandaria talent changes. In each of these videos we'll be going over the new talent trees for each class as well as the level 87 talent if applicable. Up in this video, using the Wowhead talent calculator, is Druids. In the level 15 bracket we have Feline Swiftness, Displacer Beast, and Wild Charge. Feline Swiftness increases your movement speed by 15%. Displacer Beast is on a 3-minute cooldown and it teleports the Druid up to 20 yards forward and activates Cat Prowl? I'm an idiot. Cat Form and Prowl. And Wild Charge has a 15-second cooldown and it grants a movement ability that varies by what shapeshift form you are in on the 15-second cooldown. If you aren't shapeshifted, you fly to an ally's position. If you are in bear form, you charge and stun the enemy for 4 seconds. If you are cat form, you jump behind the enemy and daze them for 3 seconds. If you are in moonkin form, you bounce backwards. If you are in travel form, you jump forward 20 yards. And if you are in aquatic form, it increases your swim speed by an additional, meaning on top of whatever else you've got, 200% for 5 seconds. Feline Swiftness, totally increased movement speed by 15% all the time. Probably what you're going to want to do for leveling because movement speed is always good. Displacer Beast on a 3-minute cooldown, it's a blink and you're already cat form and stealth. That'll probably be good later on. And Wild Charge is probably what you're going to want when you are at max level because it gives you a bonus for everything. You can jump to somebody, bear form has their charge, cat form gets the ability that they used to have, moonkin form gets disengage. All of those are awesome, so I'm going to go with max level, pick Wild Charge, leveling, pick Feline Swiftness, and Displacer Beast is really up to you if you really think it's better than one of the other two. In the level 30 bracket, we have Nature Swiftness, Renewal, and Cenarian Ward. Nature Swiftness is on a 1-minute cooldown, and when activated, your next Cyclone, Entangling Roots, Healing Touch, Hibernate, Nourish, Rebirth, or Regrowth becomes instant, free, and castable in all forms. The healing and duration of the spell is increased by 50%. Renewal is instant, it's on a 2-minute cooldown, and it instantly heals the Druid for 30% of its maximum health, usable in all shapeshift forms. And Cenarian Ward, 22.4% of base mana, 40-yard range, 30-second cooldown, and it protects a friendly target, causing any damage taken to heal the target for 4,379 every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. Gaining the healing effect consumes the Cenarian Ward, usable in all shapeshift forms, lasts 30 seconds. Nature Swiftness, the fact that it allows any of those spells to be cast in any form. Say you are a tank druid and you need to cast Healing Touch. You cast Nature Swiftness and Healing Touch and you don't have to pop out of your form. At least that's what this is leading you to believe. If that's not the case, then Nature Swiftness isn't as good as one would think. The one that is as good, and the one that everybody should probably be going with, especially at the later levels, is Renewal, because it gives you 30% of your maximum health on a 2-minute cooldown. That'll help out people a lot. And Cenarian Ward, it'll have its moments, but having to remember to recast it on something every 30 seconds, some people aren't too good with that. 2-minute cooldowns more easy for those people to manage. I personally, the way I like to play, would go with Renewal. Other people might go with Cenarian Ward. Nature Swiftness is iffy depending on if you have to pop out of any of your forms to cast the spell and not just Nature Swiftness. In the level 45 bracket, we have Fairy Swarm, Mass Entanglement, and Typhoon. Fairy Swarm grants an improved version of Fairy Fire that also reduces the target's movement speed by 50% for 15 seconds. This talent replaces Fairy Fire. Mass Entanglement, 30-yard range, 2-minute cooldown, roots your target in place for 20 seconds, and spreads to additional nearby enemies, affects 5 total targets, damage caused may interrupt the effect, usable in all shapeshift forms. This is an AoE root if you want to lock everything down and get the hell out of there. And Typhoon, the move that all Boomkins usually had, is a 30-yard range, 20-second cooldown, summons a violent Typhoon that strikes targets in front of the caster within 30 yards, knocking them back and dazing them for 6 seconds. Usable in all shapeshift forms, which means you don't have to be in Boomkin to use it anymore. That's going to make that spell actually really good. Depending on the situation, a Bear Druid might even want to use that. That being said, looking like Mass Entanglement, great for PvP, locks people down, you can get the hell out of there. Fairy Swarm, great for PvP, slows their movement speed down 50% for 15 seconds, gives you a chance to slow them down and catch up, or back up and get the hell out of there. Typhoon is what's going to be good for dungeons and raids because it is usable in all forms. Cats are going to be able to, Boomkins, everybody can use Typhoon. For Bear Druids, it'll act kind of like a shockwave. So I personally, Druids, gonna go Typhoon. In the level 60 bracket, we have Soul of the Forest, Incarnation, and Force of Nature. Soul of the Forest, Asina's Blessing grants a benefit which varies by your combat specialization. When a lunar eclipse ends, you gain 20 solar energy, and when a solar eclipse ends, you gain 20 lunar energy. Feral, your finishing moves grant 2 energy per combo point. And Guardian, Mangle now generates an additional 2 rage. And in Resto, you gain 50% haste for your next spell when you cast Swiftmend. Incarnation is on a 3-minute cooldown, and it activates a superior shape-shifting form appropriate to your specialization for 30 seconds. You may freely shape-shift in and out of this form for the duration, which is that 30 seconds. Balance, Chosen of a Loon, improved Moonkin form that doubles lunar and solar power generation. Feral, King of the Jungle, improved cat form that allows the use of all abilities which normally require stealth and allows the use of prowl while in combat. Guardian, Son of Ursoc, improved bear form that reduces the cooldown on melee damage abilities and growl to 1.5 seconds. And Restoration, Tree of Life. Tree of Life form that increases healing done by 15%, increases armor by 120%, and enhances Life Bloom, Wild Growth, Regrowth, Entangling Roots, and Wrath spellcasts. And Force of Nature, 40-yard range, 3-minute cooldown, summons 3 Treants to assist the Druid's current combat role. The Treant capabilities vary by specialization, usable in all shapeshift forms. What exactly those trees do is what's going to make or break that talent. Soul of the Forest, maybe while you're leveling, but at endgame you're definitely going to want Incarnation or Force of Nature. Force of Nature, like I said, the trees and how much they are actually doing are what's going to make or break that particular talent. How much they heal, how much they're shielding you, or how much damage they are doing. I need to see the numbers for them to make the accurate decision on Force of Nature. However, all of the information given on Incarnation makes it the choice to go with, especially if you're Resto and you need Tree of Life, you miss Tree of Life, you want Tree of Life. The King of the Jungle, you're obviously, like, your openers, because you're in stealth, you get to use them. When you're in combat, you can't use them because you're not stealth. The King of the Jungle effect is going to fix that. The Chosen of a Loon, you're going to get back and forth a lot faster. And the Son of Ursoc, I would rather see that do some more kind of damage reduction rather than cooldown reduction, because if you're not generating enough rage, then the cooldown's not really going to mean much if you can't actually cast it. So Son of Ursoc is the only thing I'm questioning on that talent. The rest of it is fantastic. Level 60 bracket, go with Incarnation. In the level 75 bracket, we have Disorienting Roar, Ursul's Vortex, and Mighty Bash. Disorienting Roar is a 30-second cooldown, and it invokes the Spirit of Ursol to roar, disorienting all enemies within 10 yards for 3 seconds. Any damage caused will remove the effect, usable in all shapeshift forms. Ursol's Vortex, 30-yard range, 30-second cooldown, conjures a vortex of wind at the destination location that reduces the movement speed of all enemies within 8 yards by 50%. The first time an enemy attempts to leave the vortex, the winds will pull that enemy back to its center. Lasts 15 seconds, usable in all shapeshift forms. And Mighty Bash, melee range, 50-second cooldown, invokes the Spirit of Ursoc to stun the target for 5 seconds, usable in all shapeshift forms. Disorienting Roar, good for tanking. Mighty Bash, good for PvP. Ursol's Vortex, good for fun for anybody. Casting it and then watching things try to get out and then get sucked back in is going to be fun. I'd love to see the animation on that. Personally, I would probably go with Ursol's Vortex just because of the effect that it's going to have. The rest of it, I don't really care for. So I'm going to go for Ursol's Vortex. If you have a different opinion on any of these 3 here, let me know below. In the level 90 bracket, we have Heart of the Wild, Dream of Cenarius, and Disentanglement. Disentanglement, shapeshifting now removes roots. In addition, shifting into a form heals the Druid for 20% of maximum health. This heal cannot be received more often than once every 30 seconds. Dream of Cenarius, Wrath, Starfire, Star Surge, and melee abilities increase healing done by your next healing spell by 30%. Non-instant casts of Nourish, Healing Touch, and Regrowth increase the damage done by your next damaging spell or ability by 30%. Each of these bonuses lasts 30 seconds and cannot be gained more often than once every 30 seconds. And Heart of the Wild, there's a lot here. 40-yard range, 6-minute cooldown. Dramatically improves the Druid's ability to serve combat roles outside of normal specialization for 45 seconds. Balance, healing spells generate lunar and solar energy and benefit from lunar and solar eclipse. In addition, grants additional agility and armor and reduces the chance you'll be critically hit by melee attacks. In Feral, it grants additional agility and armor, reduces the chance you'll be critically hit by melee attacks, and in addition, it massively regenerates mana every second and increases the damage done by your spells. Guardian grants additional intellect, in addition, massively regenerates mana every second and increases the damage done by your spells. And in Restoration, it grants additional intellect, spell hit, melee hit, and expertise. It increases armor while in bear form and reduces the chance to be critically hit by melee attacks. In addition, increases the damage done by your spells, and damage spells cost no mana. That's a lot of shit. All for that one thing. The 6-minute cooldown is what's making it a little iffy. I would probably go maybe 5 minutes. But 45 seconds to have all this stuff happen is great. I, for one, like, for balanced druids, it's actually gonna, it'd be pretty good because of the ability to heal. Resto, the ability to do damage. I know when I'm healing a dungeon and I don't really need to heal the tank a lot, I'll start doing damage. That'll help with that, just to have a little bit of fun. Guardian, you're not really going to want to pop out of bear form to begin with because you want to be tanking, so the Guardian point is kind of useless, and the Feral stuff is good for the PvP. So Balance and Resto, the stuff that you get there is pretty good. The Guardian, I don't think is very useful at all. The Dream of Cenarius, the first part here with the Wrath, Starfire, Star Surge increases the healing done. Since you're not in Boomkin form anymore, you can cast the heals. Well, actually, no, technically that is still Boomkin form. Sorry, I was thinking of the glyph. Never mind. But you do your Wrath, you do your Starfire, you do your Star Surge, and you see your tanks going down, you pop out real quick, and because of the Dream of Cenarius, that healing spell that you just cast is increased by 30%. and say when you're healing, and you cast Nourish or Healing Touch or Regrowth, and you feel like casting a Wrath on something, the damage of that's going to be increased by 30%. The Dream of Cenarius is probably, like, Disentanglement is what you're going to want to do for PvP without question, or in PvE scenarios, if you are tanking, you pop out into Cat and then pop into Bear again real quick. You get the 20% heal, and the roots won't matter as much in the PvE scenario, obviously, but in PvP, Disentanglement is the way to go. In PvE, Dream of Cenarius is probably what a lot of people would want to go with. I personally can't really make up my mind between Dream of Cenarius or Entanglement. We'll go Dream of Cenarius. And then we come down here. Scroll. The level 87 talent, this one is fun. Symbiosis, 4% of base mana, 30-yard range, 6-second cast. Creates a symbiotic link which grants the Druid one ability belonging to the target's class, varying by the Druid's specialization. In exchange, it grants the target one Druid ability based on their class and combat role. Lasts 1 hour and persists through death. Cannot be cast on other Druids. Effect cancelled if Druid and target become too far apart. So this is good for dungeons and raids. Not so much for PvP unless you know you are going to be sticking with that particular Druid. So basically what it's saying is you cast Symbiosis on somebody. You get one of their abilities. They get one of yours. To really make a good judgment on this particular talent, I need to see what is getting traded for what. Like, if you're a Resto Druid and you cast Symbiosis on a Rogue, are you going to get Fan of Knives? And are they going to get, like, Fairy Fire? Like, I don't know what stuff is being traded for what. I need Symbiosis to be shown to me. I need to see it in action before I can make an accurate judgment on this particular talent. That does it for the Druid video. I thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments below or send me a direct message here on YouTube. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.